Oh, ito mga kabayan, ha, pag-usapan nga po natin at panoorin, ha. Ito pong pagbubunyag ni Atty. Sal Panelo na kaugnay nga po doon sa pangingidnap ni Torre, ha? Di umano kay Pangulong Duterte. Mantakin mo mga kabayan, mula Hong Kong po. Paglapag po ni Pangulong Duterte sa Pilipinas, inaresto po siya agad mga kabayan. Hindi man lang po pinagpalit ang damit, pinagpahinga, diba? At kung nakikita niyo po yung video, sinabihan pang kakalad ka rin mga kabayan. Ganito ba ang isang pulis mga kabayan? Kayo na lang po ang humusga, at huwag na po tayo magpatumpik-tumpik pa. Panoorin na nga po natin ito pong pagbubunyag ni Atty. Sal Panelo. Atty. Sal, pasok po.
Practically, he was kidnapped and thrown out.
But is there kidnapping if he voluntarily
He did. Of course, he was not. He was against it. He was resisting, in fact. It was against his will.
Was he given the opportunity to at least get clothes? Because from my point of view, when I saw that there were already, we have General Torre there waiting, and former President Duterte was coming straight from a flight out of Hong Kong. And for me personally, one of the first things I thought about was, coming from that flight, tapos straight to being held in custody. May pagkakataon ba siya, una kahit maligo man lang, kumuha ng mga damit, and of course for his age, maintenance medicines, and just the bare necessities like toothbrush, the things that you need for sanitation. Paano ba? Wala.
None. Anything of what you said, wala yun. Basta pagdating niya, inaresto siya.
So yung suot po ni former President Duterte from the time dumating siya sa Hong Kong, yun na yun.
Yun na yun.
Hanggang papunta na ng Hague.
Yun na yun.
Walang pagkakataon na mag-impake.
Wala hindi nga yung mga sumulubong na abogado, hindi pinapasok Pati ako nga di ba? I arrived in Hong Kong, here from Hong Kong, mga 1:15. Dumiretso ako sa Villamor. Twice ako nag-attempt. Wala, talagang ayaw nila. Si isang abogado, Atty. Bello, nakaabang na sa airport. Hindi pinapasok. Yung senador, hindi pinapasok. Diba si Bongo? Yung anak, vice presidente, hindi rin pinapasok. This is worse than martial law. It's not, yung sinasabi ni Presidente, looming dictatorship, given the circumstances of what we are seeing now, that we are leading to dictatorship. Hindi lang leading. This is martial law. And this is worse than it. Because during our time, Karen, if you remember, kaming mga abogado o tayo, we could see our clients anytime, anywhere, any detention center, not this government.
So are you saying former President Duterte was not given the right to counsel when
Napakatindi talaga. Sagad sa buto po yung ginawa niya itong mga kabayan. Hindi po makatao. Pati anak, mga abogado, diba? Yung mga senador, vice president, hindi mo pinapasok. Si Torre may araw din yan mga kabayan. Wala naman po, hindi naman po habang buhay yan nakapwesto yan Hindi po ba? Makakarma din po yan mga kabayan. Kaya hindi na po kayo tataka kung bakit tatanggal po sa iglesia yan Bakit mga kabayan? May sa demonyo po Diba? May sa demonyo tao. Bantakin mo. Matanda. Sasabihin mo kakalad ka rin mo. Tinuruan ka ba ng GMRC ng nanay at tatay mo? Ha? Anak ka ng pating. Yan ba tinuturo mo sa mga anak mo? Matanda, sasabihan mo kakalad ka rin mo? Antayin mong tumanda ka. Buwisit mga kabayan.
Of course he was not.
Mag-isa lang po siya doon.
Nag-iisa lang siya doon.
And in this case, our government keeps pointing to just the cooperation with Interpol. But who is really responsible for the manner in the way the arrest was conducted?
Siyempre, hindi ang gobyerno. Ang Interpol has no authority to make arrests.
Was there someone from Interpol there?
I don't know. Paano nga natin malalaman Hindi nga kami makapasok. Teka muna, let's begin from the very beginning. Unang-una, Walang jurisdiction ang ICC. So sinasabi nila, the Interpol, ang parang enforcement agency, which is wrong. Kasi yung Interpol, ang kanyang trabaho lang ay to facilitate the arrest ng isang tao. Kasi they're all over the world. So pag merong gustong ipa-aresto, sila magsasabi, oh, nandito. But, by itself, it cannot do anything. It has to request. So, anong nangyari dyan? ICC requested Interpol to effect the arrest. But it cannot do that by itself. So, Interpol requested the government to do it.
And that's fundamental in sovereignty, the principle of
sovereignty. Yan ang sinasabi nga ng gobyerno. Ini-request kami, excuse me, ICC has no jurisdiction. Authorizing an agent, are you telling me that the agent has more authority than the principal that has no jurisdiction? Mali sila doon. Kaya nga nag-request eh. Pag nag-request, you can deny it, decline.
And there's something that I want to understand here. There was a warrant of arrest issued by the ICC, but yes, we have withdrawn from the ICC, so they have no authority to enter the Philippines without the cooperation of the Philippine government. But also there's a red notice of the Interpol. But what is the nature of a red notice?
Yun nga, sinabi ko kanina, red notice is to request this government na kung po pwede tulungan sila na i-arresto ito kasi may request itong ICC sa kanila. Eh yung nagre-request nga, walang jurisdiction eh. Pero alam mo, we have to go back to the jurisdiction from the very beginning.
Yeah, actually I want to talk about that because
hindi, kailangan kasi yun ang unahin mo.
Yung principle of complementarity is the basis of jurisdiction.
Hindi lang yun. The basis of jurisdiction is whether this country of ours will allow any foreign country to come in.
Yes, and that goes into the principle of sovereignty.
Right. And under this government, under this, in our country, as you know, you're a lawyer, before a law is or becomes effective, it has to see the light of the day. Meaning, it has to be published in the official gazette. Because people have the right to know exactly what are crimes that we will be committing that will put at risk to be being incarcerated. Kaya nga sinasabi ng Civil Code, no law will be enforced unless it is published in the official gazette. From the very beginning, sinasabi ni Presidente Duterte, wala kayong jurisdiction sa akin, sa amin. Kasi hindi naman lumabas sa official gazette. In fact, nung nag-meeting kami sa Malacanang, lahat kami abogado, lahat sila, si Duterte lang nagsabi na walang jurisdiction kasi hindi lumabas sa official gazette. At sabi ng mga abogado nun, Sir, may international treaty tayo eh. Nanotify na Senado. Eh may jurisdiction sila, miyembro tayo. Ako hindi ako umimik. Nung tumingin sa akin si Presidente, parang tinatanong niya sa akin, anong tingin mo? Sabi ko, yun lang mga problema niyo, na may jurisdiction, o di mag-withdraw.
So yun yung
kaya na yung nangyari yung withdrawal. Yeah. Ako ang nag-advise noon. Ako rin ang gumawa ng memorandum na pinirmahan niya.
Then,
ngayon, tingnan mo na. So, walang jurisdiction. Assuming na nagkaroon. Dahil nga, sinasabi nila.
Yeah, that they
started. Nag-withdraw na nga eh. So, paano magkakaroon ng jurisdiction?
Well, one of the provisions in the Rome Statute is when the matter was taken under consideration. So I know that's contentious and that will probably be part of the determination at The Hague, whether there was really, whether the matter was taken into consideration before we withdrew from the ICC.
Sinasabi nila, hindi, meron kayong obligasyon eh. In fact, sabi ng Supreme Court, obiter dictum lang to ha, may residual obligation kasi sinasabi ng Rome Statute na pag nag-withdraw kayo at naumpisa na yung investigasyon, you are obligated to cooperate. Teka muna, unang-una nga, from the very start nga, wala kayong jurisdiction dahil hindi naman kayo na-enforce eh. O ipagpalagay na natin na meron kayong jurisdiction na dahil because of the treaty, nag-withdraw na kami. You're now saying na, hindi, under our statute, alam mo, binasa ko yung statute nila eh. Ang nakalagay doon, kung nag-start ang investigasyon, di ba? Teka muna, anong investigation ba? Pag sinabi mong preliminary investigation, ang mangyayari dyan, pareho ng atin, isasummon mo, you have to respond, magkakaroon kayo ng due process na tinatawag. Yung sinasabi nilang nag-imbestiga umpisa, Karen, hindi yun yung preliminary investigation proper that is being contemplated under their own statute. Ano yun? That was a preliminary examination to determine whether or not it can come in under the principle of complementarity. Kaya, yun muna tinignan nila. Natatanda mo, nagkaroon nga ng communication between the government through the Solgen.
Yes, actually.
Diba? Ayaw nila. Sabi niya, teka muna, huwag muna kayo pumasok.
Yeah.
Kasi malakas ang aming legal system. In fact, I criticize the Solgen. Sabi ko, tinan mo yung, ang principal sinasabing, wala kayong jurisdiction. Ito naman mga alter ego, kung ano-anong pinapile. Kako, you're admitting jurisdiction. Di ba?
At that time,
Binanatan ko sila doon.
Yeah, but I want to go back to this principle of complementarity because it is essential as well in order to determine the jurisdiction of the ICC. But back in September 8, 2022, the Philippine government had a submission to the ICC, and this was already under this current administration because this was in September 2022. And in paragraph 31, it said that the Philippine government has sufficiently established ongoing national proceedings with respect to alleged crimes committed throughout the Philippines between July 2016 and March 2019 in the context of the so-called War on Drugs campaign, warranting the continuous deferral to the state's investigation. So in this case, our own government at that time, September 2022, under this current administration, was asserting that they had ongoing investigations that would require the ICC to defer because under, again, as you said, complementarity, if we had a functioning judicial system, then the ICC can't come in. And then later on, March 2023, DOJ Secretary Boying Rimulya gave a speech in the UN Human Rights Council wherein he declared that the Philippines has a fully functioning judicial system. And to quote him, he said, under the complementarity test, the ICC therefore has no jurisdiction over Filipino citizens whatsoever.
Welcome to the Qatar Economic Forum powered by Bloomberg.
So what changed from that time? Because after this speech, there were even Quadcom hearings. So kung meron tayong issue on complementarity, it seems like this current government has been consistent as well in asserting that we have a functioning judicial system.
Then suddenly, there's a reversal.
And then suddenly, they're the ones cooperating for the arrest. So, what is your take on this from the legal perspective?
Hindi legal. It's political from the very beginning. I've been saying, yung gobyerno, yung mga nandiyan ngayon sa kapangyarihan, they want to perpetuate themselves in power. The only stumbling block is BP Sara, who's the leading presidential candidate in 2028. And the one supporting him is the million following people, ang idol nila si Duterte. These two have to be eliminated. Kaya may impeachment, may criminal charges, ngayon may ICC. Yan, ginagamit lang nila lahat yan para ma-eliminate mo yung, walang legal dito, political lang. Kasi from the very beginning, alam mo, natatawa nga ako, yung mga sinasabing mga legal experts, kung ano-anong pinag-uusapan natin sa statute, wala nga jurisdiction from the very beginning. Ano mo ang pinag-uusapan natin? Yun ang pinaka-basic. Ang ICC walang jurisdiction. So lahat ng ginawa nito in relation to the Philippine government and the citizens ay lahat illegal. So wala ka nang pag-uusap. Illegal lahat yan. Fake
So, ngayong illegal po, ayan ang contention ninyo. What remedies are you considering? You've gone to the Supreme Court?
Yan nga That's precisely we went to the Supreme Court. Sinasabi naman sa Korte Suprema, illegal po ang ginawa nila dito sa presidente. Halos kinidnap na nga ang ginawa nila. Kaya kung maaari lang po, under our rules, meron kayong kapangyarihan na orderin ng gobyerno na papuntahin dito ang presidente ngayon. Umalis na. Kaya sinasabi lang, moot and academic na yan. Hindi po, hindi ako naniniwala moot and academic. Bakit? An illegal act committed by you or by this government follows it or you wherever you go. Sapagat illegal yung ginawa mo kay Duterte, ang ginamit mo pang eroplano, registered pa rito sa Pilipinas, o di may jurisdiction pa rin. Yung kasama niya, mga pulis
Ng Pilipinas.
ng Pilipinas. O madaling sabi, palaging sumasama sa'yo yung maling ginawa mo. Kaya pag sinabi nila, di ba, papatawagin ka ng Korte Suprema kasi may habeas corpus. Nasaan si Duterte? Sir, sorry, Your Honors, sinurrender na namin. Hindi na namin may babalik. Hindi. You created that act of surrendering. Your job is to bring him here. Regardless of what you're going to do. Ikaw ang gumawa ng mali, i-correct mo yung mali mo yan. Wala kaming pakialam kung saan mo dinala. Dalhin mo sa akin yan. Yan
So
ang sinasabi ko na may
theoretically,
jurisdiction.
this is something that the Supreme Court can do as a remedy. But do you think they will be able to do it? Because you already said that a lot of this is political. So all our discussions on legal principles, on doctrines, may not apply when it comes to the political side.
It may not apply with respect doon sa ginagawa nila kay Presidente dahil political. But the Supreme Court comes in because it is mandated by the Constitution to decide on issues involving rights of citizens and institutions. Hindi pa pwede. Kaya ang magiging nila, kasi ang habeas corpus is yung is directed to the government, produce the body, and explain to us the legality of the detention of the prisoner. Yan eh. Pag sinabi, sir, wala na, hindi. You created your own problem. Gawan mo ng paraan yan. Wala kaming pakialam.
So you're confident that the Supreme Court can fulfill its role?
It should.
It should, yes. But
Not only it can,
again,
it has the authority
if
under
this
the
is political,
Constitution.
you're not worried that there can be political pressure on the Supreme Court?
Well, palagi may ng political pressure, but I always believe, itong mga justices, meron silang term of office. Sila'y in-appoint dahil sila'y men and women of integrity. And I think they will follow that line.
And just yesterday, the Supreme Court denied the temporary restraining order that was initially applied for on behalf of former President Duterte. A TRO is a special remedy. So what is your take on this denial?
Ay kasi sinasabi ng Supreme Court na it appears that there is no clear and unmistakable right being violated. O ibig sabihin, kulang ang ebidensya. Madali sabi, kaya kailangan mag-argue muna tayo. Magbigay kayo ng mga ebidensya. It doesn't mean na walang right. No clear as of this time.
Yeah.
Kaya kasi net for arguments, kaya nga pinapacomment eh. Okay, naging buti ng academic ang TRO kasi wala nang i-resign, nakaalis na.
Yes, totoo,
Kaya, pero yung habeas corpus, ang purpose nun, dalhin mo yung dinitain mo, inaresto mo, at ngayon tinanggal mo, dalhin mo sa amin.
So the denial of the TRO in no way weakens your petition for habeas corpus in your opinion?
Kasi ang sinasabi niya, illegal nga yung pag-aresto. Kasi palagi kang babalik sa jurisdiction ng ICC. Walang pakialam we are a free, independent country. We have our own sovereignty. Itong gobyerno, sa halip na bigyan ng proteksyon ng mamamayan, instead of protecting its own citizen, sinurrender pa. Diyos ko naman, wala na ng jurisdiction. Ikaw na nga nagsasabi, no jurisdiction, we have a functioning, robust legal system. Tapos sinuko mo dahil lang nag-request ang isang walang may jurisdiction. Ano ba yan?
And dun sa pagkausap niyo po kay Kitty kahapon, how is she? Are they able to talk to former President Duterte?
Hindi ko siya nakausap kahapon. Nakausap ko siya when we filed the night before we filed. Nung kinidnap na nga nila si Presidente Duterte, she had to go to the office to sign the petition. At dumating nga pati yung kanyang ina. At umiiyak sila. They narrated to us the harrowing experience they experienced. Halos nasaktan sila doon. Kasi nakita naman sa video, di ba? Nagkaroon ng scaffold. Kaya sabi nila, ang grabe.
Totoo po bang merong encounter? Because she was showing on social media na yung suot niyang blouse ay nagkapunit po.
Ay, kasi nga, gusto niya pumunta sa tatay niya, pinipigilan siya. O, di siyempre, nagkaroon ng scalpel, kaya napunit.
But in this case, we also heard that President Duterte was supposed to undergo some
Yes.
medical procedures. And paano po yun? Is the family worried about the health of
Now
the
that you
former
mention
president?
that, the government, the palace, is saying that it is not true that we did not give medical attention to the former president. Meron kaming doktor doon. Alam mo, yan ang hirap sa kanila. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, the man is sick. He was supposed to be brought to the hospital kahapon. Kaya siya dumating the day before. In fact, ang sumalubong sa kanya, may doktor. Nandun sa airport, merong ambulansya. May sakit yung tao. Tanong ko sa kanya, did you bring him to the hospital? No. The answer is no. Was he examined by a competent doctor in a hospital full of medical equipments? Kasi kailangan mo yan. Titingnan mo yung tao. Pwede ba yung mga pag-ganong-ganong ka lang, blood pressure? Hindi yun. Kailangan kumpleto. Hindi rin. Another question. Did you give him the prescribed medicine na kailangan niya? May maintenance yun eh. Wala. Oh, paano mo sasabihin? Anong klaseng treatment ang ginawa niyo? Gusto niyo patayin yung tao.
So,
Gusto niyo i-eliminate talaga. Politically, legally, or physically.
Paano po ngayon, meron po bang magdadala ng mga gamot ni PRRD?
Hopefully, ganun na mangyayari. Kasi wala sandala.
And is there any hope na makasama po niya yung mga anak niya? I know that there are also reports that Vice President Sara and
Nandun na.
Paolo is already there. Pwede ba nilang makita?
Ay, siguro naman, dahil lahat naman ng bilanggo, di ba, entitled to visits. Kaya nandun si Inday Sara kasi kailangan niyang bumuo ng legal team. Hindi naman po pwede tayo mga abogado pupunta ron kung hindi naman tayo lisensyado ron. Di ba? There are certain rules na ICC. Kaya kukunin niya yung mga abogado nagpa-practice doon.
Yeah. And one of the people that accompanied former President Duterte is former Executive Secretary Bingbong Medialdea. And now that he has arrived in Netherlands, it is part of the reports here that he has no visa, so he had to request for the help of the Philippine Embassy. Pero 15 days lang daw yung binigay na visa.
Kaya most likely, babalik yun dito.
Bakit po ang ikli lang ng binigay na visa?
Ay, hindi natin alam yan. Kung yan ang rules nila, magagawa natin.
But because before, when we apply for EU visa, sometimes it can be as long as
Hindi, nagbibigay
few
naman ng
months.
visa ang Netherlands, hindi naman ang
Exactly. No,
Pilipinas.
Netherlands sometimes, or EU in general, mas mahaba. But you have no idea na bakit
Hindi
maikli
ko
lang.
alam. Saka pwede naman i-extend yun eh. Di ba? You can always ask for extension.
So now, ano po ang plano ng pamilya? Because this comes at a time na magkakaroon din ng elections. And former President Duterte is running for mayor of
Yes.
Davao. Paano po yung
Wala,
election
hindi
campaign niya?
kandidato pa rin siya. Kahit na wala siya rito.
Yeah, and this is not a ground for disqualification because
Hindi.
sa atin naman,
Definitely.
it has to be like conviction by final judgment, and there is no conviction in this case.
Basta sa akin, Karen, ang mahalaga, ang posisyon ng gobyerno walang jurisdiction. And yet, pinayagan nila, in fact, hindi pinayagan lang. Sila mismo umaresto eh. Ng isang institusyon na sinasabi nila wala kayong jurisdiction sa amin. Ginagamit nila ang Interpol. Ang Interpol nakiusap, pinakiusapan lang ng ICC. Bakit susunod ka doon sa pinakiusapan ng sinasabi mong walang jurisdiction? The principle has no jurisdiction. Necessarily, if Interpol is an agent, it has no jurisdiction.
But when it comes to conducting an arrest in accordance with a red notice, which is a request to for an independent, like sovereign, to conduct an arrest on behalf of the Interpol, is there a process within the Philippines that should be followed? Should there be a warrant of arrest that should be issued by a court?
All right. Number one, you know this as a lawyer. Domestic laws prevail over international law and international agreement. Kasi ini-invoke nila na, hindi, may agreement tayo dyan sa Interpol. You are committed. Mali kayo dyan. Kasi bago ninyo ibigay ang isang tao, even under extradition law, you have to pass through judicial process. Mag-a-apply ka sa korte. Yung warrant of arrest mo, kailangan malaman ng local court kung valid ba yan. Ano ba yan? Kailangan bigyan mo rin ng pagkakataon yung dinidemanda mo, tatanggalin mo. Hindi nila ginawa lahat yun, kaya nga illegal. Yan ang sinasabi ko. Pag illegal yung institution, sa akin as far as I'm concerned, illegal silang institution as far as we are concerned in this country because wala nga kayong jurisdiction eh. So lahat ng ginagawa nyo, lahat yan ay illegal. Kahit na anong gawin pa nila, kahit itong gobyerno, illegal din ang gagawin ito pag sumunod ka sa request na yan.
So, Secretary Sal, what can we expect from this case? Are you confident that all the issues that you raise about the illegality of the arrest, of the warrant, or even the lack of jurisdiction is something that can be resolved here in the Philippines? Or is there also an opportunity to raise this in The Hague?
Alam mo, tanong mo, do I have confidence? Kung ako ang justice, kung ako magde-decide, given all the facts and the circumstances and the law, talagang dapat pabalikin mo ang presidente. Pero hindi naman tayo magde-decide sila. So, we will leave it to them. But masyadong clear naman ho yan. Walang jurisdiction. So, pag walang jurisdiction ng isang entity, lahat ng ginawa yan dito sa ating bansa, illegal ho lahat yan. And the government cannot justify it, cannot validate an illegal act from the very beginning. At kung may ginawa ang gobyerno ng mali, yung pong kamalian na yan, yung illegality yan, nakayakap na sa kanya kahit saan siya magpunta.
And what do you think is China's role in this? China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning recently gave a statement and she said the ICC should strictly follow the principle of complementarity, exercise its functions and powers prudently in accordance with the law, and prevent politicization or double standards.
Tama naman, di ba? Pati si Truman nga, di ba? Sinasanction niya ICC, hindi na binibigyan ng kontribusyon. Kasi pinopolitika. Pinagpipilitan kasi nila na pumasok, pinakikialaman nila yung mga bansa kahit na hindi sang-ayon doon sa complementary rule. Yan ang problema.
So you meant President Trump?
Yes,
Yes.
President Trump.
Kayo po ba ay susunod din sa Hague? And what is your message to former President Duterte?
Alam mo, ang problema diyan sa gusto ko man pumunta ron, ano naman gagawin ko doon? Ang mangyayari doon, mag-observe lang ako. At saka, yung moral support. Pero baka mas kailangan ako dito sa Pilipinas to articulate yung defense naman itong Presidente Duterte. Kasi ang mangyayari sa'yo doon, huwag mong papakialaman siyempre yung mga abogado. Abogado doon. Bibigay ka lang ng mga insights. Pero mas maganda siguro na dito tayo, tulungan natin si Presidente Duterte. Dito. Sa akin, ang remedyo, isa lang yan. Either Supreme Court na may remedyo dyan, o ang sambay ng Pilipino. This government is created by the Filipino people. The primary function of a government is to serve and to protect. If this government no longer protects and serves the interests of the Filipino people that created it, then this sovereign people
magkakaalaman yan mga kabayan, dyan po sa ICC kung papawalang sala po si Pangulong Duterte. At kung bago ka pa lang sa channel, huwag makalimutan i-hit ang like at subscribe button ha. Hanggang sa muli mga kabayan, paalam.